Another political story we're following this morning. There are 4 days left before ballots are due to vote for the next leader of the Federal Conservative Party of Canada. The party will announce the results on Sunday. MP Erin O'Toole is hoping for victory this time after finishing third in the 2017 leadership race. And he is joining us this morning from Ottawa. Good to have you back on Your Morning.
Good to be back.
All right, let's start out this morning with your reaction to Bill Morneau's resignation.
I'm not surprised, quite frankly. I think Mr. Morneau has not been particularly successful as minister. There hasn't been a great deal of confidence. And the entire scandal, not only the trip that he paid back just hours before testifying, it appears from the testimony of the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, the entire concept of this program to pay volunteers through emanated from Mr. Morneau and was coached along to benefit by his office. So clearly some inappropriate conduct. They can dress this up as a differing of ways on the economic recovery or what have you, but I think a lot of people lost confidence as a result of the scandal with Mr. Morneau. I think there's still a lot of questions for Prime Minister Trudeau and the people around him about them really feathering the nests of their friends in the midst of a pandemic.
The Bloc has called for an election to be triggered in the fall because of the scandal. If you're elected as party leader, would you support an election in the fall?
We're going to talk to our caucus. Once I become the leader, it's really about uniting our caucus to make sure how can we help Canadians as quickly as possible. Some of the impacts of the COVID assistance plans have really left out small businesses. There are small businesses in the Durham region that I represent across the country really failing. That will be our priority, but we will look at making sure we hold the government to account and at the appropriate time place a non-confidence motion or watch how votes go. The Bloc Québécois can never form a government, but the Conservatives will form the next government, so we're going to approach this very seriously.
Until that time, there's lots of speculation over who could be put in place as the next finance minister. Who do you think that should be?
I think he should pick someone from his benches. I think there are a number of people he could choose. The finance minister is a key role. There's not a lot of people in Mr. Trudeau's cabinet with private sector experience, so I think that would be needed at a time where jobs has to be the focus. It can't be someone who's come from a social activism background or some of these people that are in his cabinet that are kind of against the energy sector, against manufacturing. We need someone that will help get the economy going. I don't really see it happening under this government, but we'll see who he chooses.
In September, the Liberals will be ending CERB and transitioning to employment insurance. And you've said that CERB needs to end because thousands of jobs are going unfilled because people are being essentially paid not to work. That was your characterization. What do you say to those who are trained in the field, but the jobs just aren't there right now? They need those payments.
Well, we've always said the whole focus should have been on the wage subsidy. The more jobs that we could have put into hibernation kind of through the first wave of COVID to maintain the jobs, maintain that economic activity for when the economy reopened, that should have been the focus. You remember the government messed up the wage subsidy. They first said it was going to be 10%. They had to then bring a second emergency bill to raise it up to 75%. Most small businesses shed their people off to the CERB so that they would have a payment. The result was more people on the CERB than intended. Really, government assistance should be focused at maintaining jobs, and then there would have been fewer people requiring a CERB or what I recommended in the first place, especially a special standing up of the EI system would have been much more prudent because you would have had some controls on it. So we have to do this fairly and equitably over the next few months. But just prolonging the CERB without any sort of strategic direction to it is not healthy for the economy.
One last question before we go. This is a question we're going to be asking all the candidates this week. If you are elected Conservative member, what's different about you from the other three candidates?
Well, I'm in the House of Commons ready to go on day one, September 21st, to confront the government. I've got cabinet experience, military experience, and private sector experience. So I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be the Prime Minister. I'm the only one in this race like that. I would also be the first leader we've chosen from Ontario since 1948. And I think because we have to win so many of the seats that Premier Ford won and in Southern Ontario, across Ontario, I can do that while keeping the party united from coast to coast.
All right, Mr. O'Toole, I want to thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.